Let me tell you something, guys. It is great to have Formula One back. The summer break has been far too long, and I understand we have to have a break. These drivers, every single person that works so hard throughout the course of a season, they need a break. And I totally understand it for sure. I have been exhausted as well at some points in the season, but I'm so glad to have it back. And listen, we are resuming Formula One, and there are 3 drivers that I think they have to improve in order to save their Formula One season and possibly to save their Formula One careers. Okay, because as much as we've had some delights, as much as we've had some good moments in the Formula One season, there has been plenty, and I say plenty, of drivers who could do with improving for the second half. And the first way I'm going to kick things off is with Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda drives for Red Bull. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, he drives for Red Bull and he's P18 in the Drivers' Championship. And to give you some context, Red Bull are what, P4 in the Constructors' Championship? So explain to me, what on earth is Yuki Tsunoda doing down in P18? He's got 10 points so far this season. What have we done? 13, 14 rounds of Formula One action where 25 points are available at the top end. Of course, we're not expecting him to have 25 points at the top end, but he's not got 25 points total. And he's in a Red Bull for way more than half of the season. Okay, yes, he's been in that Racing Bull, in the V Carb. He was there for not that long a time. And yet this is what we are getting from him. Let me give you some context. The guy is behind Pierre Gasly. Alpine are 10th in the Constructors' Championship. He's behind Bortoleto, a rookie in Formula One. Okay, F2 champion nonetheless. He drives for Kick Sauber, for goodness sake. Right? Liam Lawson, who's his teammate, has got way more points than Yuki Tsunoda. It has not been good. And the thing is, the first couple of races, we were sort of like, we'll leave Yuki alone. Let's let Red Bull's a disaster. Let's let him, bed in. Let's see him, buy his time over at Red Bull. Let's see him improve, and maybe he'll be better than Lawson at Red Bull. Maybe he'll be better than Sergio Perez in that Red Bull seat. Maybe, and we were excited. We were looking forward to seeing him do phenomenally well. But it has to be said, guys, Yuki Tsunoda is doing an awful job at this moment in time. Now, let me preface, the Red Bull car clearly isn't that good, because even Max Verstappen does complain about said car. However, Max Verstappen has got how many race wins this season? He's got race wins, for goodness sake. He's got pole positions in Formula One. So how much excuse does he actually have, Mr. Yuki Tsunoda? A man that we all love so dearly, a man that we hope to do phenomenally well in Formula One. We hope that he does become and, fulfill the potential that we've always thought he had. Do you remember when he joined AlphaTauri? Was it the pandemic season? Was it 2020? We saw this guy and we thought, who is this? We're looking forward to him. If you're not a fan, or you're not familiar with the F2 or the Academy stuff, F3, because I'm not really one of them either, to be honest. So when I see somebody come in from them places and they're talked up well, and then you come to see them perform and you realize, actually, it's not all that meets the eye over here. What's happening? What's happened to this guy that everyone talks about, that they wax lyrical about? There's so many drivers that they wax lyrical about, yet I'm sitting here and this is the product I'm getting from Yuki Tsunoda. P18 in the drivers, 10 points, he needs to fix up. And I think he's one of those in big danger of losing his seat in Formula One. Because although this is about improving to save the season, depending on the driver, you could lose your seat entirely in Formula One. Because let's just say, for example, Red Bull say, do you know what, Yuki, it's not really your fault, but we're going to get another driver in that Red Bull seat to try and, be more competitive for the constructors at least. Do they put Yuki back in Racing Bulls? I don't think they do. Because if you've got Liam Lawson, you've got Isaac Hadjar. Now, depending if one of those two was to go to Red Bull, maybe Isaac Hadjar, then at least there might be a slot. But then again, Red Bull have got an academy full of guys. There's people waiting to go. There's people waiting to go, names we would have heard of yet. They are waiting to go. So I cannot see Yuki getting another gig unless, Cadillac, the way they're going on at the moment, we don't even know who their 2 drivers are. Cadillac might turn around and say, hey, listen, Yuki, I hear you're losing that seat at Red Bull. Do you want to, and bring some of that Japanese money with you? who knows? But Yuki Tsunoda is on some shaky ground. That's all I got to say. Do you know the next person I got on this list? And this is where it gets a little bit, I'm gonna get some real hate in these comments, because I know I said somebody last time before in another video and they came for me straight. Don't worry, I think he'll be back on this list anyway. But the second person I'm suggesting in this, Oliver Bearman. Now, P19 in the Drivers' Championship, I think he's got about 8 points, right? Something like that, 8 points. And Oliver Bearman has got so much talk. There's so much leading up to this man's career. He might be very unlucky. He might have gone through a few bad spells and everything like that. And Haas in general, you know what? They've kind of underperformed for their standard. For the standard that they were setting last year, I think Haas have underperformed. And Ayo Komatsu, I don't know what's going to go on in that situation, but they're P9 in the constructors, and that's just not good enough for them. It's not good in sense of the trajectory that we saw from Haas. Now we're a bit shocked, we're a bit confused as to why we're seeing this type of performance from Haas. But Oliver Bearman, what, 8 points, P19? That's a concern. But then also, Esteban Ocon is P10 in the Drivers' Championship, and nobody's talking about Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon, I put a video out on this already. He's definitely the most underrated driver in Formula One, because just nobody talks about him. It's not even that he's doing anything spectacular. Nobody talks about him. Nobody cares for Esteban Ocon, which I find astonishing. But the Haas talk, when we talk about Haas, everyone just talks about Oliver Bearman. Everyone talks about what a talent he is. Everyone talks about the potential about him. And, you know, a lot of people have got stocks in Oliver Bearman, and I understandably so. I'm not against that one bit. Listen, Oliver Bearman could definitely be top notch. He could definitely, you know, the talent alone could see him in that Ferrari seat for sure. But he needs to have a better second half of the season. It's a must. There's no way he can go on like this without improving and just think his stocks are going to stay high. At some point, somebody needs to have this conversation and say, whoa, guys, let's come back. Let's come back down to earth and let's actually analyze and see what's actually going on here. I remember he got he got a massive penalty, or like even points on his license for speeding in the pit lane. Now, speeding in the pit lane is crazy, but then I think he had like a crash as well. If I could remember the circuit, it's completely gone. Comment down below if you guys remember it. But he's speeding in the pit lane. He then kind of brakes, he loses control, he crashes. It might have been Silverstone, and then he crashes. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I think it was like in FP1 or 3. It might have not even been qualifying or nothing like that. But that worried me. That concerned me a bit. I mean, that got me asking questions like, hello, what's going on here? Are we just going to allow this? Are we going to accept this type of behavior? I don't think we should. But Oliver Bearman, listen, it's time to step up, I think. I think if you are who you say you are, if you are what the people say you are, because Oliver hasn't actually come out and said anything, but the impressiveness that we had of him at the very beginning, we don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose that at all. All right? And number 3, and this is the one that's going to cause a stir, and I didn't know people felt this way so much about it. But anyway, Lewis Hamilton now. Let's get to the stage. Let's not deny that he needs to improve. Let's not pretend that he doesn't need to improve. I love Hamilton as much as the next guy. But let me tell you something. When I look at what is happening in Ferrari at this moment in time, when I look at where Lewis has been over the last couple of seasons, this has to work. This has to work. We cannot have Hamilton ending Formula One like this. We can't have him ending the season like this. We can't have him not performing, not doing well, not you know, we cannot have this side of this side of Lewis Hamilton here in Formula One. He's 40 points behind Charles Leclerc, his teammate, in the same car. That's a concern. And I think what are they, P6? I think it's P6 in the Drivers' Championship. Leclerc's P5. That doesn't sound too bad, but the 40 plus points gap, it's not on. It's not on. And there comes a point where I hope to God that Lewis over this summer, he said he's going to have a cry. He's going to do whatever he has to do in order to come back. I hope to God he's gone and found God himself and literally back in that driver's seat and saying, you know what, right, enough is enough. It's time to get back to who the hell I am. You know, remind people like, this is who I am. This is what I can do. This is what I will do. We know Lewis Hamilton can win races. We know that he can be on pole position. We know that he can score a haul of points. We know he can get on the podium. We know how quick he is. We know how he can overtake. We know how class he is, how dominating he can be. But the Lewis Hamilton storybook of Formula One cannot end like this. It cannot. Even if it's next season and he stays on another year and whatever, we cannot have a repeat of what we've just had in Formula One with this guy. We cannot. It's not acceptable. And Lewis Hamilton knows it more than anybody. So you guys in the comment section and in the chat, listen, he will tell you first, this isn't good enough. I need to improve. I need to do better. And that's all I'm saying. He does need to do better. He's not exempt. Nobody's exempt. He needs to do better for sure. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And I tell you something, honorable mention, I didn't put him in my 3, Carlos Sainz. Speaking on that Ferrari kind of topic, I saw a story the other day saying, Ferrari might bring Carlos Sainz back to them if they get rid of Hamilton. Whoa. I like Carlos Sainz. I think Carlos Sainz is criminally underrated as well, right? And what he was doing against Charles Leclerc in that Ferrari was phenomenal scenes. And it was unfortunate to lose his seat in Ferrari. But when you've got a 7-time world champion like Lewis Hamilton on the wing, you get him in. It's as simple as that. If he's parked outside, you invite him into your house. It's as simple as that. But Carlos Sainz, what are you, P16? In the Williams, who are P5 in the constructors? Whoa. There's a lot that needs to be answered here. Now, credit to Alex Albon, but let me tell you, Carlos Sainz, the next couple of races, if they do not improve, there will be a video to discuss. If they do improve, guess what? There will be a video to discuss as well. Because this is not a channel just about, ranting and hating on drivers. Absolutely not. We like to critique, but we also like to praise, and we also just like to talk about what we see here on this channel. But those are my 3. With that honorable mention on that, just off the podium there with Carlos Sainz. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are they harsh? Do you think these are the 3 that should be discussed? Is there anybody else that I'm missing out? Is there somebody that you think, maybe someone from Alpine? I just think Alpine is such a basket case that I feel sorry for the drivers, all of them. Every driver that they're going to have. I feel sorry for them all. So Alpine, I couldn't even bother wasting my time bringing them in this conversation. And yeah, I think there's some drivers here who should be doing better. Sonoda should be doing better. Behrman should be doing better. Lewis Hamilton definitely should be doing better. And so too should Carlos Sainz. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. YouTube thinks you will like this video over here, so make sure you go ahead and click on that one. Until next time, lights out.